Welcome, capable trader. So this is Brandon and Ryan Small. I'm going to be starting off showing you guys the actual news events. It's a big week right now. So you really want to pay attention to what's going on economically, fundamentally, because it's definitely going to have some acceleration when it comes to pairs that we're looking to trade. So if you see I'm on investing.com, last week we had NFP. So this week we have the federal fund rates. So just about every major currency is having an interest rate decision. And with this being the last month of 2019, we could expect some volatile movement. So if you see I'm here, you see we have a lot of news involving GBP. We have an eye heavily on GBP, especially since there's an election. There's a general election you see here that's on Thursday. They're trying to see if they're going to get a deal done. I don't believe they're going to get a deal done, but all we can do is just react to what we see. And if a deal doesn't get done or they push some type of extension for GBP in the UK, you can definitely expect that volatile drop coming on GBP. All right. And then Wednesday, we got the federal fund rate decision, interest rate decision for the USD. All right. So be on the lookout for that. And you see here some Australian dollar news, as well as a lot of volatility going on with the euro coming up on Thursday. So really, this is a major week, when we're talking about fundamentals. All right, so let's go to the charts and let's see how we can capitalize based off of what we see. So I'm starting here with US 30. You can see here on the daily, we had this huge impulse, right? This huge impulse drop here. All right, that's confirmation. That's confirmation that we could potentially be looking to go lower. All right. Now looking at this price created this double top and then it gave you this impulsive drop, breaking through my ascending trend line here. So now where price is currently at, we got a nice retest. All right. Price is now pulled back about to the 78.6, and you see it's rejecting my trend line, and it actually just printed an evening star pattern here on the 4-hour. So ideally, I would like to see price hold here and give us a move back down to the downside. All right, so for all my US 30 lovers, if you're looking to trade this, a safe stop loss will be back above this high. All right, but if I come down to the smaller time frame, I wouldn't be surprised if price holds here. It is Sunday though, a lot of trap moves happen on Sunday, but I wouldn't be surprised if price holds this high here, and this is just a correction, a pullback that's happening now to go lower. All right, but if they spike through this high, you can expect them to retest these highs again before give you that continuation move to the downside. All right, so that's US 30. Now, if we take a look at, let's look at USD Chef, USD Swiss franc. So last week, USD Swiss franc gave us this big impulsive move that you're seeing here. Right now, I'm on the weekly chart. All right, overall, USD Swiss franc has really been choppy. Like if you see, this is really just a big range here. Like price is really just moving sideways when you're looking at the bigger scale of things, but there's still trade opportunities within this. So you see here on the weekly, we just got this bearish engulfing close here. All right, so if I go down to the daily, and this was the impulsive drop that we got last week when we were dealing with NFP. So price here, you see we have this level of support. Price has been holding here for like the last 3 to 4 months. This is September, October, November. Now we're in December. All right, so we could potentially get another bounce. So I would like to see, I'm expecting USHEF to pull back up into this range, into this zone up here. And then we can see how price reacts when we get a pullback into this level. Now, in order for price to go lower on USHEF, we would need to see this breakout. We would need to see this move here, a move like that, look to get a pullback, a retest, and then look to take it lower. All right. But this week I'm leaning towards more of a bullish dollar. Like I'm expecting we're going to see some bulls. But at the end of the day, we got to just trade what we see. We don't really want to just predict, especially when it comes to news. But looking how things are setting up, I wouldn't be surprised if we get the bullish dollar. All right. But we will keep you guys up to date. So USHEF, price is already giving bullish price action down here. So it's looking like it's heading back up towards these high of supply. And then you'll probably get that continuation down that's playing in line with that bearish engulfing weekly candle to probably give you a pullback correction right back down towards these lows. That will also line up with this trend line here. All right. So that's USD Chef. Let's look at Euro USD. Euro USD. All right, you see I'm here on the daily chart. If I could, let's take a look. Let's see what the weekly is doing. All right, so after this impulse rise here, we had a bearish engulfing right here, and price bounced. So it's in an interesting level. Coming down to the daily, we had this double top right here, price right here, held a double top, came down here and gave you a double bottom, retesting structure and bounce. Now we have this bearish engulfing on the daily. So really what's happening, it's looking like EU was favoring another pull to at least retest this double bottom here, these support levels down here around 109, 1099 area. And if price holds here, you can expect another bounce to the upside. So we'll be watching price action around here to see how it want to react. Now, in order for us to go lower, I would need to see a break, an impulsive break below the support level. If that happens, then you can look for pullbacks and look for sell opportunities on a pullback to reach back down towards this support level. Now, if that happens, I'll still expect longs to happen down here if it comes back down to the support levels. All right, which is down towards 1089, 1088 area. All right. So if we get an impulsive break of this double top, the support structure, look to take it lower. All right, and then look to take profit back down towards here and look for longs back up towards the highs. All right. Let's take a look at gold. And also, you know, there's a lot of trade wars, a lot of stuff going on with China. So we had to, you know, trade with care this week. You know, you definitely want to be careful. Looking at gold has been interesting. Looking here on a weekly, really overall, I'm still expecting this move to happen overall. Like I would like to see price make its way back down towards here. But of course, we just got to trade what we see. You know, we don't want to be 100% on a prediction. So by coming out to the daily, you see price has been moving in this channel, all right, which is really a big bull flag. Now, if things get hectic with the whole trade war between China, right, and Trump maybe tweets something, or, you know, China decides to impose tariffs and, you know, they attack our currency, just keep in mind that, of course, gold is a safe haven. So if that happens and you start to see a lot of bearish action, or if the dollar and the U.S. economy get under a lot more pressure soon, you can expect price to break out of this channel, all right, of this big bull flag and head up to the upside towards 1550, if not higher, all right. Before that to happen, I would need to see this impulsive breakout. Then I would look for some type of pullback of structure and then take it higher. But when we're talking about relevant price right now, like where price is at now, price came up, formed this double bottom down here, right? It created this pin bar, pulled down, gave you this bullish pin bar. We actually called this out in the channel. We come out to the 4 hour. You see we got the breakout, the retest of structure here, then we got an up move back down to this retest of this support structure right here. So where price is at now, price would need to hold. You know, I can see price possibly coming down here, retesting these support levels down here, and then bouncing. But in order for us to go lower, we need to see price break below. Hold on. We need to see price break below this support structure right here. Once we get a break below the support structure, then I will look for pullbacks and look to take a lower. All right. So gold is really in an interesting level. It's really pushing towards the breaker bounce level. This is a nice pullback. So, you know, we'll be watching for that and trading accordingly. All right. Let's look at GBP USD. The pounds are really heavily on my watch list this week. So if we see where price is at now, price has clearly been moving in this uptrend from this demand level. You see here on the daily, price had a huge bounce from these demand levels down here. And now it rose, price has already rose about 1,200 pips. All right. So we're looking for some type of correction, because looking where we're at now, price is in this supply level right around here. Last time price was in this zone, we had a huge drop. All right. A huge impulsive drop. So we're watching price action. You always looking left to go right. So now I'm watching price action to see how price reacts around this level. So looking at this, price just created somewhat of a hanging man, somewhat of a bearish reversal type candle. If I go down to the 4 hour, Price is rejecting in my supply zone right now. It gave me this strong bearish candle. So ideally, for a safer entry, all right, honestly, even if you wanted to sell here, like if I was to sell right here, which I wouldn't really recommend selling just yet because, you know, with all the news and everything, but my stop loss would be below a high above the high of the supply level here. All right. Because price actually pulled down to end last week and then it pulled back up. All right. But ideally, I like to see a 3-wave move before I just look for that pull. So it gave me this impulse. It's pulling back now. If we get this impulsive drop, like a strong, sharp move, then that's the confirmation I need, right? So if we get this sharp move down, look for pullbacks. Look for pullbacks to take it down lower. Back down towards 2.9, probably even lower. Probably back down towards 1.3. Because if you look at price, around 128, that lines up with this trend line, and it lines up with this previous support structure over here before it broke out of this range. So really, it depends on what we get with the GBP elections too. All right, my 50 EMA also lines up with this support structure around 2.8. That also lines up with this ascending trend line. So really, any drops down here is just a bigger correction for a higher low. All right. So really, if we get bad news involving the pound, I'm really expecting it to break this structure. I'm expecting price to come back down towards probably even 2.7, if not around 2.6. That will actually retest the neckline of this double top right here. So really be on the lookout. Around Wednesday, Thursday, that's when you can expect real movement to kick in. So right now we're sitting on our hands waiting for more of a sharp move on GBP, because I wouldn't be surprised if they gave us another move up, you know, trying to fake out buyers and then reverse. All right, so be on the lookout for that. GBP USD. GBP Chef. All right, we're in a similar type situation with GBP Chef. We look here on the weekly, or on the daily, price had a huge bounce from this demand level, right? Now we're retesting an interesting level of structure, right? The part we're retesting was a support structure over here. There was some resistance type structure over here. All right, so we're in a key level of structure. We're also heading towards ascending trend line. A descending trend line. So really, same thing with this. Like when you're looking at this, if I come over to the 4-hour, I'll take a trend line here. Really, when you're looking to trade this, I would say wait for the sharp move. Wait for that sharp move. Wait for that impulsive move. All right. If it gives you that, look for pullbacks. Look for sell opportunities on the pullbacks. All right. And then look for price to break down. Break back down towards these support levels around 127-ish area. All right. Which also lines up with this bigger ascending trend line here. All right. So we're really just waiting for confirmation. And once you get that impulse, because just keep in mind, the market is made of impulses and corrections. So a lot of times I like to wait for that impulsive move. That's the confirmation I need. Go to the smaller time frame, like maybe the 1 hour to 2 hour, look for pullbacks, and then look for your short opportunities. All right. So that's GBP Chef. Actually one more. I want to give you guys one more, then I'm gonna pass it over to Ryan. GBP NZD is a pair I've really been watching heavily. If you've been following, we giving out some winning trade setups with GBP NZD. So if we look at the weekly chart, we have this huge, or even on a daily, we have this huge ascending trend line it's been respecting. Price broke below it and gave us a retest and then pulled back and dropped again. So where price is at now, the daily candle closed somewhat of a bearish engulfing. So if we go down to the 4 hour, this is what I'm looking. Well, price opened up with this gap. So it's already pulling back. So really, we're getting that pullback now. So price could test these highs, right? But all in all, I'm expecting a bigger correction back down to actually create a lower low. So I'm expecting price to break past this low that it created once we get that confirmation on this pullback. And especially if we get negative news on GBP, you can expect that break that low and head back down towards structure around 978, 977, which lines up with this previous structure here. All right. So pay attention to market price action and market structure. Don't lie. All right. So that's what we're looking for. GBP So I'm gonna pass it over to Ryan. You know, we will be updating you guys with charts and everything. If we see signals that we feel like we should call out, we'll do that. But in the meantime, we want to make sure you understand why you're taking certain trades. All right. So I'll see you guys on the next one. I'm gonna pass it over to Ryan.
All right. Yeah, that was great analysis by Brandon. And as Brandon was talking about, this is going to be a major week for economics. So knowing that you don't want to, enter trades too early, start over leveraging too early, early in the week, because knowing that, you have high impact news is for certain currency pairs going throughout the week, you kind of want to just, wait for the market to settle in, and then maybe, you know, a little bit before news, or maybe even just waiting for after news to just skip out on all the volatility to where you can have a higher probability setup. Doing something like that is probably going to be better for most people, especially if you guys are just building your accounts. If you're not really knowing what you're doing, I would say just wait for news to settle, and then after that, then you can start executing. But what I'm going to start off with, some currency indexes. Right now, I'm on the DXY, so that's pretty much the U.S. dollar index, currency index. So anything USD based, the DXY usually has some type of say-so into how those pairs react. So right now, I'm on the weekly chart. So let me just back up a little bit, just kind of see the structure. So price after it pushed strong down to this lows right here. So after price found these lows, this move to the upside is going to be critical, because now we see that price broke this previous low right here. Let me just draw this line. So this high right here, price broke that. So once price broke that, it started making waves. So just like that, once price broke above, it pulled back down and found support. So once it found support and didn't break back below, it started making one move to the upside, pull back down, make a higher low, pulls back up, makes a new higher high, pulls back down, makes a higher low. Fourth wave pushes all the way up here, which is almost at 100 resistance. And if you were to do your Fibonacci retracement from from the low to the high on a smaller time frame, you would have seen that this fifth wave would have hit your negative 27 overall TP. And then right after that, price found resistance, gave us an evening star type pattern, rejected from 99 resistance, and then broke below this ascending trend line. Once price broke below the ascending trend line, it pushed down towards 97 support, gave us a bullish engulfing back above 98 resistance, failed to break above 98.50, which is going to be a critical level, printed an evening star pattern, and then now we're currently right here. So let's go down to the daily. So on the daily chart, that same structure, price pushes down to 97 support, makes a double bottom, pushes back up, fails to break above 98.50, once pulls back down, pulls back up twice, makes a double top, and then price pulls down to 97.50. So now what I would like to see is some type of correction towards the upside, maybe a little bit back above 98.50. And overall, as long as these highs right here don't break, we're going to look to take this lower. So these highs right here is going to be critical. So if price doesn't break above these highs, then overall, I'm going to look for another correction back down to the downside, possibly towards 97. But now if price breaks above 98, and let's say, it pulls back down and finds support now, then I'm going to be looking to take this back up towards these highs and then possibly back up towards 99. But overall, I favor, the first scenario, to where price pulls up, price pulls up and then pulls back down like this, something like this. But because it's a lot of high impact news, this is really the time I don't like to, start to guess what the move is going to happen. I really just like to react of what's going to happen based off, what news releases. So overall, this is just the idea, but just because this is my idea, I'm going to play it, day by day to make sure that price is fulfilling, what I think is potentially going to happen. Because if price pulls up above 98 and it holds above 98, I'm not going to look to sell it. I need the price to pull up, give us some type of bearish price reversal around these levels. And then from there, I'll possibly look to sell it if that's aligned with news, if it's like a Wednesday night or Wednesday afternoon or Thursday morning, something like that. Then, if everything aligns, just because I know it's high impact news. So that's DXY overall. Prices below 98, look for a retest above like around 98, 98.50. If price holds, then look to take a lower. If price breaks, then look to take it to 99 resistance. All right, so that's the dollar index. I'm going to go over the euro currency index because there's also a lot of euro news this week. So let me start off on the weekly. Let me see. Okay, yeah, so even on the monthly chart, this little structure right here, you can see that it's a good descending trend line if you just started. Let me just redraw. So if you started from this top point, connected, so we're still making lower lows and lower highs. Price pushed down. Let's go down to the weekly. Move this up some. So usually when because the candle, if you look at the current candlesticks, the candlesticks they're pretty small. So usually when the market is moving like this, there's going to be some type of strong move either to the upside or to the downside. So seeing this, you would just know that because we found a critical support level right here, you would just play this as a strong support. And if price can't break below that, then that would hint that the strong move is going to happen to the upside. So this is the weekly chart. So now let's go down to the daily chart. And just so you can see the price action. So just like how I was saying, if price can't break below this zone down here, then overall, we're going to look at this as price pushing down, finding strong support. Hold on. Okay, so we're going to say price found strong support right here. All right, and then from there, price gave us a strong move to the upside. And this move to the upside is important because it broke this lower high and this lower high to the left. So now we know that the trend we may get some type of reversal, especially because this low down here isn't broken. So seeing something like that, you may be able to draw a Fibonacci retracement because those lows was taken out. You could possibly draw it from this low up to those highs like that. And then from there, you would have seen that price push down and gave us a key 61.8 retracement before pushing back up. So now, after we got this bullish move last week, I would like to see the Euro index pull back down before possibly going higher. So pull back down, possibly make like a triple bottom, and then pull back higher, possibly back up towards these highs. If not, break those highs and pull up towards the negative 27. But overall, that's pretty simple on the Euro currency index. So I would like for price to push down, possibly make a triple bottom as long as these lows don't close on a small, like on a 4 hour, then we're going to look to take this higher. So overall, the lows down here is the critical lows based off the weekly chart. If price break that, then overall the bearish price action is still valid, because understand that the Euro currency index has been moving in a strong downtrend for so long. If you could just see, making lower lows, lower highs, all the way started from 2018. And then we just got this low. So this is going to be the most critical low, but based off, the daily and the 4 hour, this new low is going to be the new critical low because price printed the support, pushed up, a strong bullish move, 3 weeks straight breaking the previous lower highs. And then from there, price pushed back down to the 61.8. So this 61.8 on the daily chart is going to be the new key support level that we're going to look for price to push down towards, somewhere towards these levels and hold. And if price can do that, then we're going to look to take it to the upside. All right, so that's EXY. What else has? Oh yeah, so the Great British Pound. So with that one, that's going to be BXY for British Pound. And if we start on the monthly, you can see that price also found a key support down here. So we're going to look at this as the base for price to pull way down here after, this strong bearish move is telling us a strong story that this level down here may be something real strong. So understanding that once price pulled down here, we knew that we were going to get a rejection once price found support. So once we get this push up, now we're going to look to see where price could potentially go. And looking at this type of structure, we can see that this was the most previous lower high right over here, especially on a smaller, because right now we're on the monthly. So understanding that this is going to, so we understand that on a smaller time frame, whatever level this is going to be critical for the Great British Pound. So even if price pushes up here, if price fails to break above this, then overall we're possibly going to see some type of correction back to the downside. But now if price breaks above this, then we're still, the GBP is still going to be overall bullish. So based off this level, we're going to need to see if price can either break or bounce from this level. And it's going to be hard to anticipate because of so much going on with that currency, this specific currency pair. So you don't really want to anticipate it. You kind of just want to react. And based off of this, I'm just kind of giving certain scenarios. So if price pushed up to this level and it fails to break above, then you're going to possibly see some type of correction to the downside. Price is going to need to break back below a support here and support here. So now let's just go to the weekly. So like I was saying, this high right here is critical for GBP. So now if price pushes up to this level, because it still has a ways to go, so because there's a lot of news, we can still see that accelerated push. But now if price gets up here, this is going to be a key make or break. If price breaks above this level, we're not going to buy it just yet. We want to wait. So if price breaks above this level, you don't want to buy it off the break of the buy. You want to have confirmation that this buy is valid and is going to hold, because breaking above this level is showing that the trend may possibly reverse. So now, let me see. If price breaks above, you want to wait for a pullback hold. Even if price breaks below that, if it pulls, let's say, down here and it finds support, then we're going to look to buy it around those levels. So hold on. So then we're going to look to buy around these levels. If it breaks back below this support level, as long as price stays above this, then overall, if price breaks above, then we're going to look to take it lower to take it higher, something like that. But now, if price fails to break above this level, which is a highly scenario, if price, even if it fails to come all the way up to that level and it finds resistance within this, then overall we're going to look at this structure as a new lower high, and it has capabilities of pushing back down to this level. But because we're on a high time frame, you want to kind of take it like day by day. So a quicker resistance is going to be this. A quicker TP or support level is going to be this previous resistance to the left. So on a smaller time frame, this resistance right here would be the first TP where you would look to take it if price finds resistance up here, and then you would look to take it higher. Or no, my fault. You would look for a pullback as long as these highs, you would look to take it back lower. So if price finds resistance, push up, wait for some type of bearish confirmation, and then push down. This would be the first level. This would be the second level. This would be the third level. If this level right here is broken, then I'm almost guaranteed that its price will come back down toward this demand zone. So that's the Great British Pound Index. The last currency index I'm going to go over is going to be the Canadian Dollar Index. So with this, let me see. I'm going to start off on a weekly on this. So as you can see, we have a descending trend line starting from point A connected to point B and then drew it out to the future. The future came and then price pushed up to this level and then found some resistance and then pushed right back down. So overall, underall, we need to understand, just like the previous pairs, this bottom support is key because price pushed all the way down from this downtrend, and then once it found support right here, it gave us a push up, and then when price pulled back down, it did not meet these lows or break these lows. So that means it printed somewhat of a higher low, and then from there, price pushed up and broke these highs. And then when it pushed back down to these lows, it gave us a bullish engulfing, retraced that, found support, pushed back up and hit that trend line. So now we're going to go to the daily chart just to see this price action a little bit better. So now, like I said, this bottom demand zone is going to be the key support. Price rejected from there, pulled up, pushed back down. From this push back down, price gave us a strong rally up, and this rally up broke above this previous resistance. So because of that, you could possibly draw a fib from this low to this high. And then from there, you would have seen that price pushed down and it fell to the 61.8 perfectly. Pushed down to 61.8, pushes up. Finds resistance, pushes back down to the 61.8, finds support, pushes back up. Hits the descending trend line, makes a new high from these highs. Price pushes back down and falls just short of the 61.8. So overall, what I would like to see is for price to respect these lows and do something like this. Back up. And when price pushes back up here, it's going to be a make or break of this trend line. If price fails to break back above the trend line, then we're going to see another correction. But because this would be, the third or fourth hit of the trend line, eventually some type of move is going to happen. So if price does get up to this trend line, I would like to see a break, retest, pull higher. But because there's a lot of news, you just kind of want to take it day by day. So overall, I'm looking for the CAD to gain some weakness, and then overall look to gain some strength. And that'll correlate with the Canadian currency pairs that we're looking to trade this week. So overall, the structure is still solid. The 61.8 around 75 support is holding firmly. It held one time, two times, three times. If it holds another time, then we're going to look to take it back up to the trend line. If price gets to the trend line, it's going to be a break or bounce where I'm favoring a break. So that's basically the Canadian index. Now let's go into some actual currency pairs. So since I just touched on the Canadian index, let me start off with USD CAD. So USD CAD, let's start off on the weekly. Oh, let me do it on this chart. Yeah, okay. So now let me start off on the monthly. So pretty much starting from like 2015, 2016, you can see that price pushed up here strongly, but it failed to close up here. So this was pretty much just a strong fake out move, trapping buyers, and then it printed somewhat of an evening star, shooting star type pattern, and the price pushed down. So this type of structure has been happening where price pushes up, fakes out, gives a strong bearish move. Price pushes up, corrects, gives a strong bearish move, Price pushes up, corrects, and then strong bearish move. Pushes up, corrects, strong bearish move. So now we're in that pushing up, correcting phase, and we're just going to wait for that strong bearish move, possibly. So overall, going down to the weekly chart, you'll see that prices had a hard time breaking above 133 resistance. So because it's having a hard time breaking above 133 resistance, it's telling us that price is making lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, possibly to make a new possible lower low. And if you measure the moves, you can kind of see possibly where it's going to go. So let's go to the daily, because I kind of want to break this down into like something more recent bias. So as you can see, when price pushed up to this high around 133.50, I drew a descending trend line from this point, connected to this point, and drew it out to the future, where prices came here once, twice, and then this third time, and then it gave us a strong rejection. When price pushed up here, it gave us a new lower high, failed to break above 133, strong rejection. So because we got this strong rejection, the price found support. Price gave us a strong correction back up towards 32.50 level. So now we're going to look at this as a possible breakout retest. So price broke to the downside. Now we're going to look and see if price can retest possibly this trend line around 132.8. And then if it does do that and the price overall holds above this resistance, then you can look to take it back lower like this. And with that, if you wanted to take an entry, you have your entry at 132.80, stop loss at around 133, let's say 6. And you could look to take it back down to 130.50, which is almost what is that? A 1 to 3, almost a 1 to 2.8, so almost a 1 to 3 risk to reward ratio. So that's pretty good for USD CAD. So yeah, this overall what I'm looking for, breakout retest, as long as these highs don't get broken, but really as long as 33.50 doesn't get broken, then I'm still bearish bias on USD CAD. You just got to be patient because of FOMC and all the CAD and USD news for this week. So that's USD CAD. Next CAD pair I'm going to look for is CAD JAPY. So with CAD JAPY, let me see the weekly chart. Okay, yeah. So on the weekly chart, you can see already that this support right here is key, because price found support, failed to break here, gave us a strong, like a flash crash here, but it still failed to break, came here, failed to break, finally broke here, and then acted as resistance, finally broke back above, acted as support, and then now we're back above this overall support line. So you could even draw, this is really a zone down here. Something like, oh, it didn't click. Yeah, something like that. So go to the daily chart. You can draw a trend line from this low here, connected to this point. Like that. Okay, so right now it's looking like we may get a break, but as long as these lows right here don't get broken, we're going to look for more bullish sentiments. And also you possibly can draw a smaller descending trend line like that. So based off the daily, because this structure right here is making higher highs and higher lows, I'm gonna just draw a fib just to see where price can potentially fall. So yeah, the 61.8 is around this level right here, 81.2, and then the 78 falls back into this level. So overall, just like how I said, I would like to see the CAD possibly gain some weakness, possibly push back down here, and then from there we're gonna see if it could get some type of bullish reversals to take it back up to the upside. Overall, price will need to break up back above these trend lines, and then it will need to break above this high right here where this wick is at. So if price breaks above this wick, then overall I have it coming back up to meet these highs and possibly make new highs. So it really just, this wick right here around 82.70 is really going to let me know. If price can't break back above that, then we're possibly going to see another correction to the downside if price pushes back up. But now if price breaks it above 82.70, 82.80, then overall I'm going to look for 83, 83.50 to get hit, if not higher. So let me see. Yeah, pretty much that's CAD Jappy. It's pretty simple. Look for price to possibly push down. If it pushes down, even if it, let's say, for example, price breaks below this, bullish structure is still kind of valid. Even if it breaks below 61.8 and if it pushes down to this level, bullish structure is still valid. As long as price doesn't take out those lows and break back below this, then we're still bullish. But now if price does do something like this, then we're just going to look for price to push back up. And then now we're going to look to take this lower. And then now we're going to look for it to come meet them lows, if that does happen. So just know how to react. You know, like we said, that's why it's best to give out, you know, both scenarios, because when it's high impact news, you kind of never really, you know, the probability is a lot less lower because of economics and fundamentals. You know, I like the market more so when it's trending, when you can look at technicals, and that's going to really dictate the market. Not saying when it's heavy fundamentals that won't help dictate the market. It's just brokers and, you know, market makers that you like to use the news to swipe ranges and to stop hunt and do stuff like that. So that's another thing you got to take care, you know, be aware of. Even if you're on the right side of the trade, or can you withstand a 50 pip, 100 pip stop hunt? And, you know, you got to be aware about little things like that, especially with high impact news, because those are the times they can really get away with it, because, you know, there's a lot of volatility hidden within, or they try to hide a lot of volatility within the news, but in reality, those moves are supposed to happen. They just kind of use news to disguise it. So that's kind of why they can get away with that with news. So, this CAD Jappy, like I said, look for price to push down and then, you know, push back up. As long as price can break back above 82.50, 82.60, then we're going to look for price to hit 83, 83.50. All right. What other? Okay, another CAD pair, GBP CAD, and then I'm almost done. So with GBP CAD on the weekly chart, this is a critical pair right now. So as you can see that we're in like a descending parallel channel where price found resistance, pushed down, found resistance, pushed down. And then even if I'm pretty sure if you measure these moves, they're like the same. Like, all right, do that, clone. I'm pretty sure that the width of that move is kind of like similar to the width of this move. You know what I mean? And then same way for the upside. So the length of that is possibly the somewhat of the length of this. If I could just kind of move it, so it's a little, it kind of broke a little bit higher, but you guys kind of see what I'm saying. So just because, you know, the moves are, you know, around the same measurements, you don't want to just sell it here and then wait for, you know, the length of this move to take it down to this side. You kind of want to be a little bit more technical with it. So overall, just like how when price pushed down here, you needed to wait for some type of break between like a flag type. So let me see. Where's the okay? So just like I have this parallel channel, if I would have drew this here, so this is all correction. So once price broke below this, it's kind of giving me the indication that now we're going to look to head lower. Ideally, I would have liked to see a pull back higher before going lower, but because we got this strong break, price kept that momentum and fell all the way back down. So just like that, we could possibly draw a fib from this high to this low. And you will see that we're at the 78.6 and we're also retesting the third hit to this trend line level. So what I would like to see is price to find resistance. Honestly, price right now is at 1.743. I would like it. Honestly, it's almost in range now, in my opinion, but you got to understand that there's a lot of GBP news. So because of that, I don't want to sell it. Like if it wasn't heavy GBP news, I would possibly sell it tonight or look at tomorrow. But because I understand all this, I kind of want to wait for news to kind of get a little closer to news, or wait for news to release, because this can easily get broken and push up here, especially if there's a positive impact on the pound news release. This could easily push up, but just based off technicals and what we're seeing, I just want people to keep an eye on where we're at on GBP CAD, because if the highs around here hold, then we're going to look to take it back down. Because this is a pound pair. If you push it back down, even back down to here, from where it's at, that's what 400 pips just back down here. And overall, if that does hold, I can really see price push it back down here, because this is aligned with all these wicks around here and this critical support level. So really this level right here could get hit, and that'll be from like 174 level all the way down to like 167. So that's 700 pips just like that. And because we're in the last month of the year, December, this is around the times where you see a lot of swing trades either start to happen or really start forming, because it's around the holidays, New Year, stuff like that. So these are critical times for the market. So just keep an eye on GBP CAD. Don't just sell it because it's up here. Kind of want to wait for that bearish reversal or that bearish price action around these levels. And then from there, if you could get, a good position around these levels, make sure you have a good stop loss. You're not risking too much. Then overall, like I said, this 171 to 167 range can get hit. So you could bake in anywhere from 300 to 700 pips possibly if, this setup holds and this resistance, this trend line, everything holds. So that's GBP CAD. I'm about to wrap it up here. I have a few other pairs I kind of want to go over, but, I don't want to make this video too long. So I'm going to just do one last pair. Let me do Euro Jappy. So Euro Jappy, just looking at this on a higher time frame, just so you can kind of see that from February 2018, price has been bearish. So just understanding that, and then also understanding from 2018, we've been descending trend line where prices rejected, found support, pushed back up, rejected, and then made new lows. And while price did that, this possible ascending trend line was also broken. And this wick right here was the flash crash that happened, I think it was early this year or like December last. I believe it was January 2019. Yeah, January 2019. We had this flash crash, and it looked like this trend line got hit, but it was going to hold. But after that, we finally got this break below the trend line. Price pushes up, finds resistance, and then pushes back down, and then we finally get a break below. So now what we're looking at is price to either push up. This is going to be finding resistance to push back lower, or we're going to look for price to push lower to push back higher to possibly push all the way back lower. So now let's go to the weekly chart so you guys can kind of see what I mean by that, because overall we're still in a strong downtrend, but recently price has been making bullish movement. So, price pushed down to 116, bullish candle, followed by bullish engulfing up to 120. From there, price give us a pullback, bull flag, bullish engulfing back up to 120. Price breaks above 120, and now we have price pushing back down, and now it's around 120 acting as support. So overall, we could possibly see, price push back all the way down, but because we're in somewhat of a uptrend type movement or a counter uptrend, you would possibly draw a fib from this low to this high, and then we're either going to find support around this 120 range, or price is going to push down towards 119 level. If price pushes down towards 119, 118.80 level, it finds support, then I'm going to look to take it back up to the upside. And then overall, I like for that 121, 122 range to get hit. But I would need to see price find support around these levels. So anywhere around here is good for me, because even if price breaks below, let me just change the color for this real quick. So even if price breaks below the 61.8 but pushes down to even, let's say, 118, this is still valid for a possible bullish move. Price will need to take out 118 support and also break below this previous bullish engulfing pattern for the bears to be highly favored still. Even though we're still in a bearish overall trend, I would need to see something like that to happen. And then if we get a correction, then we could possibly look to take it lower like this. But overall, I would like to see price find that support around something like this, around the 61.8, 78.6, and then push back up. Price would have to break above 120, of course. If it breaks back above 120, then that 121 to 122 resistance level, I favor that to get hit. So with these pairs, most of them aren't ready right now. You kind of have to wait for price to actually make those retracements. Be patient. Wait for some type of, bearish or bullish reversal. Wait for your confirmations, and then also make sure that you're not, over leveraging. Make sure everything is, I don't want to say perfect, but when you're with trading, the smallest thing can throw you off. If you, let's say, for example, you do your analysis, you have your confirmations, you're patient, you wait for the right day, but with doing all that, you go bigger because you need to make money this week. All that could get wiped out with just that one mistake, because that one mistake, the market doesn't care about how much money you need to make today or tomorrow or this month. The market does what it does, so it's best to kind of just wait, be patient, and just react and, take what the market gives you. Also, keep track of percentages with the market. I like to say it's really about pips percentage and then money, because if you could catch pips, that's great. With catching pips, you need to be building the percentage of your account. So start looking at your account of making a certain percent. If you give $500 to a bank account, to your bank, they're going to, make less than 1% for the full year, most likely. So now just understanding that if you're able to make 5% in a week, 10% in a week, that's great based off of everyday life. And then if you, think like that and you think long term, just think about what you can do if you made 5% every week, 10% every week, and you do that for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days straight. So that's really how you can, build your account. That's really how you stay alive. That's how you stay alive longer in this game. You don't want to, chase big lot sizes and try to, over leverage to where you're making a lot more. Sometimes, slow and steady, even though you could have made more in that trade, just understanding that you're able to sleep because you're not worried about being so much in drawdown, or worried about a blown account. Little things like that could, be all the difference in the world, because a peace of mind really with this trading stuff is one of the things a lot of people don't talk about. But a good peace of mind with trading and having the right mindset, that's really going to take your trading journey a long way. Because with doing all this, like I said, you can know most of all the technicals, you can have all that, but with this trading stuff, the psychological and the mental aspects of this is really going to be, what most people are going to have to overcome. Like I said, the trading and the technicals, fundamentals, that's going to, even if you don't have that, that's going to be easier for anybody to grasp. Even if you're just a beginner, just learning that aspect is going to be easier. Overcoming yourself, overcoming the psychology, overcoming the mental, overcoming all that is really going to be the biggest challenge. So keep that all that in mind. Really practice, catching pips, practice building percentages, and also practice your patience within the market. Because like I said, most of these pairs right now, they're not ready. So understanding that it's a Sunday, you may have to wait till Wednesday night to trade. So just because you're ready to trade tonight or tomorrow or Tuesday, the market may not be ready for you. So always keep that in mind. That's probably, that should be good for now. We went over a few pairs. So during the week, we'll probably just update you guys with picture analysis, and then I may do another video just for the update for this week. But just look forward this week in the Telegram. Put on your your push notifications, because we will be posting more trade ideas to help people profit. But now also just keep in mind that these trade ideas aren't just so you can profit, so you can really learn, so you can profit yourself. We don't want to get too drunk on hand feeding or spoon feeding people to where they just, they start relying on us for us to make them money. Overall, this trading, overall, I just want people to really understand that this trading thing is a skill set, and don't cheat the process with the skill set. Really put in the time to really learn to where you can be self-sufficient yourself. You don't really want to, it's good. I mean, it's not good, but it's okay to rely just to make some profits, to build some confidence at first. But your end goal should not be that. You should, want to grasp and master the skill set yourself to where you can be self-sufficient. You can trade on your own to where you don't need anybody. You can, be your own walking ATM. So that's just my little 2 cents on things, outside of just market analysis and stuff like that. So like I said, we're going to be posting throughout the Telegram this week. So keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on the news events. Make sure you trade with proper risk management, and let's have a good trading week. So we're going to be doing more webinars, each week and throughout the week. So just stay tuned, and we're going to turn it up for you guys. So I hope you guys have a good trading week, and let's catch some pips.